Hey, this is your girl, Miss Tony. I want to welcome you and welcome my fabulous guest, Mel Holder, here to talk about his documentary, Nations of Africa Tour.
Africa,
Mel, tell us a little bit about the documentary and what it's all about, and why did you decide to do this documentary?
Well, I have to go and give credit to the architect of this, and that is Orlando Landlord Miller from the Bahamas. He has Positive TV and he works with a lot of the African nations, and he has a show that goes out to those nations, and he wanted to connect the West with Africa, and him and some of the artists were doing a lot of things by way of internet and Zoom and all of that, and he said, you know what, we need to go over there and really meet with them, see what they're doing, see what we can contribute, and see also what we can learn. And he told me about it, and I said, yes, include me in going on the tour.
Okay, so I know you said going on the tour, so was it going as far as music-wise? What were you going to do over there?
Yes, it was music, it was doing media, and it was also doing mission.
Oh, okay. So here you are getting ready to prepare for this tour. What was going through your mind all this time?
I was real excited because I've been to South Africa before, but I've never been to Uganda, I've never been to Kenya, and I always felt that I had a connection with that part of the world, and having the opportunity to go there and share my music, it was just something so exciting. I knew in the back of my mind before I even left that it was not going to be quite the lifestyle that we are blessed to live in the United States.
Right.
But nevertheless, sometimes you have to go and see how other cultures exist so that you can appreciate your own, and also that you can contribute something to their culture also.
Absolutely. While watching, because I did get a sneak preview of the documentary, don't be jealous, people. But yeah, some of the stuff that I did see, I was listening to how you were interpreting, and you definitely was saying, oh, this is not what we're used to. You talk about the Uber ride. You know, that was the funniest for me.
And I guess the first thing was the hotel. One of the things, I can't share it all, I got to say something from the documentary. When we were booking the trip and trying to get accommodations, but we really wanted something that wouldn't give us too much of a culture shock. We wanted something that was kind of like what we're used to, and for the most part we were able to do that. But when we got there, we were hit with some surprises that you will see in the documentary.
Yes, that's why I said it was one of the funniest parts that I really did enjoy. What else was a culture shock for you?
Well, the way that they operate on the streets. I got introduced to the Ugandan means of transportation, and that's the Buddha Buddha.
The Buddha Buddha.
And I'll tell you more about the Buddha Buddha when you see the documentary. That was a culture shock, the Buddha Buddha.
Wow, wow. Okay. So there's so many things that we want to point out when it comes to this documentary. And there was something that you were talking about during the documentary, and certain things that the government does not allow.
Ooh, yeah, well,
so can you just give us a sneak?
Well, yeah, the government has very strict laws on sexuality.
You know what? Homosexuality is punishable by death.
Has no place here.
Has no place. It won't accept it.
My biggest takeaway is when you go into a nation, especially of a different culture, it's very important that you do your research and understand their views, beliefs, and culture, that you don't do anything to offend them, and also that you know what to prepare for and what to expect.
I know you can't put words into their mouths because the other artists are not here. What was their experience like? Did they share any of that with you?
They did. One of the main things is we had a different way of eating. The food was very different, but we did have one good meal. I remember that when we were in Uganda and we ate at the Serena Hotel. I gotta give the Serena Hotel props. That food was second to none, but that was the best meal on the whole tour. But it was different, you know, just learning the way that they eat, and the things that we would like and the things that we're used to in the United States were not the things that we were getting when we went to those countries.
Yeah. So what can the viewing audience expect to see or experience from this documentary?
I think they will see the passion that we had, They would see the excitement that we experience. They would see the will of man to go through adversity. And I have a personal adversity which happened on this trip because as a result of this trip, my life has forever changed. I'll just tell you the end story and you'll get it as you see the documentary. I literally had a close to death experience on this trip, and I thank God for delivering me. Sometimes it's not about just being delivered, it's about what God is doing and what he will show you through the process and how he will develop you and take you to places that you wouldn't normally go. So I'm so grateful for that because it strengthened my faith. It got me to understand some of the things I thought I understood. Sometimes you think you know it all.
Right.
And that's the time when you realize I really know nothing. But that was something that was really mind-boggling in the process. Well, why would I go through this? Why would you allow this? In it all, I saw that God had a plan.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Give me the names of the artists that went with you as well, because you mentioned Landlord.
All right, Landlord. His is Orlando Landlord Miller. He's from the Bahamas. Then there was Jumo Grant. He's from Canada and Trinidad and Tobago. And then we had a local artist that was from Kenya, and his name was Dangari.
I also know that you guys performed at some type of concert that they were.
Oh, yeah.
How was that experience, and how many people you think was there? What was the feedback from that? I know I'm loading you with questions,
well,
but yeah.
That night at the Playhouse, it was off the chain. We went there. Remember at the sound check, I was a little concerned because it was a younger audience than I'm normally used to.
Right.
Being before. We were able to interact with a lot of the local musicians, and musically I really got an opportunity to hear firsthand their culture, understand their music, and I'm right now a student of Afro beats. Actually, my next record is going to be about Afro beats.
Really? Yeah, looking forward to that.
Volume 5 is going to be Afro beats. Let's let you know that. What I was able to experience was how they put their music together, and it gave me a new sense of understanding music. And I would say, after I've been in music all these years, what could I learn from going to Africa? I learned so much. I've learned that you don't have to have all the things that we think we need to have to make good music.
Okay. Look, with this documentary, you want the viewing audience to get a feel of them actually placing themselves there with you.
Right.
How do you expect them to do that?
Well, first of all, they got to tune in. And it'll be coming out real soon. And I'll just like to thank Viva Nation, Positive TV, and there's a list of other networks that have already committed to showing the documentary. Beautiful. So stay tuned. We're going to let you know where you can actually view it. I want everyone that see this not just to view it as entertainment, but I want them to view it as a sense of educational and a fulfillment, and feel that, for in some reason, in some way, we all have, especially as African Americans, have a connection with Africa, and I want them to feel that connection, especially if you're African American.
Absolutely. Is there any last words of wisdom you want to give these folks?
All I would like to say is that no matter where you sit today, God has given you everything you need to get what he has planted in you to get it done. So don't make excuses. Don't think about the things you don't have. Focus on everything that you do have, and that is enough.
I like that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very nice seeing you.
And we'll do it again.
Yes, we will. We're going to keep following Mel Holder because there is going to be a part 2. All right, so we look forward to seeing that as well. So you guys stay tuned.